blade, and remove residual glue. Clear seam cone. It is mainly used to clean gaps. Pressing plate. It is used for seam pressing. Art knife. Used to clean gaps. Yin and yang angle scraper. Pressure seam ball. Scraper. Used as a seasoning in epoxy colored sand. Large yin and yang angle scraper. Brush. Used to clean dust from tiles. Wipes. Used to wipe dust from tiles. Gloves. Paper tape. Manual glue gun. We pulled this glue gun away. Let go of your thumb. This is the hand. Hold the handle at the back, hold the thumb, press the iron bar down, and the other hand pulls it apart. Don't just hold it when you pull it. The seam clearing cone is to powder the larger and harder articles such as cement in the gap so that the vacuum cleaner can suck out dust. The function of the utility knife is to clean up the places and objects that cannot be cleaned by the solidified cement and the clearance cone. The function of the shovel is the same as that of the seam clearing cone, but the shovel is easy to use and convenient, and the dust inside the gap can be scraped clean by cleaning the gap at a 45-degree angle. The function of the brush is to clean the gap and then suck the dust off the sticky dust off the surface of the ceramic tile with the brush, so that it will not scratch bupu. Carefully wipe it with a rag to wipe the surface dust of the tile, and it is easy to shovel it off when shoveling glue later. There are two construction methods here. The first is to paste the tape on both sides of the gap, and you can tear it off directly after the glue, and there is no need to wait for the sewing agent to dry out in the later stage. The second is to directly put the glue on the gap, which does not have the first type to prepare a lot of steps, but on the contrary, it is not very convenient when cleaning up at the end. The reason for using beauty sewing wax here is to shovel the glue after the sewing is finished in the later stage, especially tiles with unsmooth shaft surfaces such as matte and soft gloss. This step is relatively simple. Open the sewing agent, install the nozzle, note that this nozzle is disposable, and if your temperature is too low, you need to heat the sewing agent, so that it is easier to glue. Align the nozzle with the gap. The punch out of the gap cannot be too large or too small. You need to spack the gap, and then compare the size, and then remove the unsuitable nozzle with the blade. Pay attention to a detail here. You must jam the front buckle in, like the previous glue gun introduction. Press the rear buckle, pull the thruster out, and jam the sewing agent. Before gluing, the glue is beaten out about 40 centimeters to act as a mix. Remember that each can has to be like this, because in order to mix the glue and the sewing material evenly, there will be no later phenomenon that the beauty seam is easy to fall off. When gluing, the angle of the glue gun is controlled above 60 degrees, so that the material will be deeper. Novices do not only pursue speed, only hit a thin layer, after hitting a material within 40 minutes for the next step of sewing. Press the gap. First use the seam plate to arbitrarily press one of the gaps, and then press the left and right gaps to both sides. Remember to wipe the tool after pressing a gap to keep the tool neat. Clean up the leftovers. Use a seam cleaner to clean the excess leftovers on both sides of the gap. If you use paper tape at the beginning, you don't need to shovel the leftovers, just tear them. If the tiles in your home are relatively brittle, it is still recommended that you use paper tape to apply the construction method, which will not hurt the tiles. With the second type, you still have to pay attention to the angle. It is actually not difficult to clean. It is faster than the first one, but you must pay attention to the knife edge will scratch the tile.